many of the things that we all do, particularly in a white collar world. And there's, lots of us, and not everyone wants to work in a blue collar job, and not all of us have mechanical aptitudes to work in those types of roles. And not all of us want to work every day on a job site somewhere. We want to work from home or the conveniences of what we do and how we work. And there's very, very much a lifestyle difference between those types of roles and a white collar job role. And that culture clash with the age gap and clash is really going to be quite interesting.
Well, I know, we sort of remember, it's crazy because it hasn't been that long. I mean, do you remember when you got your first smartphone?
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that was what, early to
Hey, I just
mid.
got the new iPhone 17. I'm with you. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but the smartphone hasn't been around that long. I mean, it's really been since the early to mid 2000s. I think the Blackberries, if you remember those, were
I
with the
had one of those
keyboard
too, and my Palm
and
Pilot.
yeah, well, that was around the 2000s area, 2002. And then I think the first smartphones really started to come out about the 2006, 2007 era. And so we're only talking about, roughly 15 to 20 years that smartphones have been out there. And they really didn't come into their own until probably closer to the 2010 area. So we're talking about 15 years, and think of how that technology's been adapted. And before that, it was the internet era. And in the white collar sector, administrative support roles definitely shrank with the introduction of the internet. Middle management got leaner. Retail and advertising professions were disrupted. On the blue collar side, retail and warehouse work also began to shift. Manufacturing supply chains were digitized. There was job loss from offshoring that was enabled, frankly, by the communication of the internet. So, the internet disrupted over probably the course of a decade. I think AI is doing that in way less time than a decade.
It was interesting in how it was explained to me, not to me, but to the audience of CEOs I was working with. They just went through that same chart, and I will have all this data available to me for some upcoming episodes, and I'll be happy to share it then. But it talked about the manufacturing production line and the adoption rate and the slow curve of growth, but at the time was a massive growth, right? And just as you said, the internet and the phone, and they're talking about AI, the growth rate, it's our first I curve, meaning it's not a bell curve shape, it goes straight up. And it called it an I curve, which I've never heard that before. And it made sense when you look at it and you look at the adoption rate of technologies like Chat GPT and Gemini and these types of tools that are out there. And I agree with you, it is going to displace. I do remember the days, and we think about it in hindsight, where every professional had a secretary,
Yep.
right?
Well, and what about a receptionist? I
And a
mean,
receptionist,
yeah.
yeah. And speaking of that, so I needed to schedule a meeting with these presenters that I wanted to meet with. Um, I've not had anyone tell me this before. They said, "Oh, here," and you kind of scan their phone and just schedule whatever you want with their AI assistant, right? So I said, "Oh, well, that's great. I'm going to have my human assistant, Debbie, work with your technology AI assistant to schedule the meeting." And this isn't like Calendarly. This is like an assistant that leads you through your day, your week, your month, your year, just like a human does to help you stay on task and help you organize and do and book this reservation and do this and schedule 30 minutes with Bart Garland for me. And that's all you got to say. And it knows and it goes out and does it. It understands your personal framework versus your business framework and how to manage. It's not just a calendar. It's absolutely very cool and very frightening.
Level up your HR game with an AIM Employers Association membership. Get 24/7 expert support, exclusive training, and a network of peers. Join thousands of HR leaders building better organizations. Call AIM at 800-948-5700 or visit aimea.org today to learn about becoming a member.